Good afternoon. Unit 4 Digital CMOS circuit. So the first point is CMOS inverter. So CMOS inverter consists of, first of all, CMOS inverter consists of an enhancement type NMOS transistor and an enhancement type PMOS transistor working in complementary mode. For high input, the NMOS transistor is on and it pulls down the output to ground, and the PMOS acts as a load. For low input voltage, NMOS transistor is cut off and PMOS transistor is on and it pulls up the output, and NMOS acts as a load. The main advantage of CMOS transistor are low power dissipation, ideal voltage level for logic high output and logic low output. And third is sharp transition between the states, which increases the noise margin. There are three main advantages of CMOS inverter: low power dissipation, ideal voltage level for logic high output and logic low output, and sharp transition between the states, which increases the noise. So the operation of CMOS inverter can be divided into 5 different regions. The switching point is designed at supply voltage VDD by 2. During the transition, both the transistors in the CMOS inverter are momentarily on, resulting in a short pulse of current. So here are the terminals of the PMOS and NMOS, gate and drain. So here diagram is shown. So when V in is high, it means as it is a PMOS transistor. When V in is high for PMOS transistor, then it is off, and for NMOS transistor, when V in is low, then it is on, and for similarly reverse, when V in is low for PMOS transistor, it is on, and when V in is high for for NMOS transistor, then it is off. So here CMOS inverter is shown. There are two inputs, that is 0 and 1. So Y is pulled low by the turn on NMOS device, and NMOS is the pull down device, and Y is pulled high, that is Y will get 1 when that is it will be turned on the PMOS device. So PMOS is pull up device. So when input A is 0, the NMOS transistor is off and the PMOS transistor is on. Thus output Y is pulled up to 1 because it is connected to VDD but not to the ground. In diagram it is shown. So conversely, when A is 1, the NMOS transistor is on and PMOS is off, and Y is pulled down to 0. So it is pulled down transistor. So the bar at the top indicates VDD and the triangle at the bottom indicates ground. So the switching speed of CMOS inverter is limited by a load capacitance CL, and the load capacitance CL takes a time to charge and discharge. When there is an input transition, it results in the output transition that either charges CL towards VDD or discharges CL towards VSS. The speed of operation or the propagation delay of gate is the average transition delay time for the signal to propagate from input to output when the signal changes its value. This time interval is defined as a propagation delay, and the signal travels through a number of gates, and the total delay is calculated by the delay time of individual gates. The speed of the operation depends on the propagation delay of each gate, and the average propagation delay time of the gate is calculated from the input and output voltage waveform. So the rise time TR for a given signal is defined as the time required for the signal to make the transition from 10% to 90% of the signal. Now the delay models in CMOS inverter. The switching speed of CMOS inverter is limited by the load capacitance CL. So the load capacitance CL takes time to charge and discharge when there is an input transition. It results in the output transition that either CL towards VDD or discharge CL towards the VSS. So the rise time and the fall time is different for the same size PMOS and NMOS transistor. The fall time is faster than the rise time. Therefore, if we require approximately same rise and fall time for an inverter, we have to make beta n by beta p is 1. That is, the channel width for the PMOS must be increased to approximately 2 to 3 times that of the NMOS device. When input switches from high to low, the driver NMOS transistor is cut off and the capacitor charges up through the load PMOS transistor. Next is transistor sizing. Once a CMOS gate circuit has been generated, the only significant step remaining in the design is to decide on the W by L ratios for all devices. So these ratios usually are selected to provide the gate with current driving capability in both directions equal to that of the basic inverter. So where n is 1.5 to 2 and for match design it is given. So we should find the input combination that the result in the lowest output current and then choose size that will make this current equal to that of the basic inverter. So we consider the parallel and the series connection of the MOSFET. Next is CMOS logic structure. So here diagram is shown, the PMOS pull-up network, NMOS pull-down network, the input and outputs are given. So in general, a static CMOS gate has an NMOS pull-down network to connect the output to 0, that is ground, and the PMOS pull-up network to connect the output to 1. Output to 1 means VDD. So in general, when we join a pull-up network to pull-down network to form a logic gate, then both will attempt to exert a logic level at the output. The network are arranged such that one is on and the other off for any input pattern. So pull down off, pull up off, the combination is given here. So this diagram shows now the connection and the behavior of series and parallel transistors. These are the different combinations. Next is CMOS NOR gate. So combinational logic gate means Inverter and NAND gates are the examples of complementary CMOS logic gate or the static CMOS gate. It has pull down network to connect the output to 0 and pull up network to connect the output to 1, that is VDD, and 0 means ground. So the arrangement of the network such that one is on and other is off for any input pattern. So the pull up and pull down network may consist of series or parallel combination of PMOS and NMOS transistor. Two or more transistors in series are on if all the transistors are on, and the parallel transistors are on if any of the parallel transistors are on. By using this principle, various combinational logic can be constructed. So selected connections and behavior of series and parallel transistors are, we will see it. The output of CMOS logic gate can have a 4 states, so corresponding to various combinations of pull up and pull down network. It is shown here. So for pull down off, pull down on, pull up off, pull up on. Now here the 1 and 0 levels are the logic states of the NAND gate and inverter, as either pull up or pull down structure is on. But when both pull up and pull down are off, the high impedance or floating Z output state results. The high impedance or floating state input important in multiplexer, memory element and bus driver. When both either pull up or pull down structures are simultaneously on, a state called Crow-Bard X level, that is intermediate level. This is unwanted situation in CMOS digital circuit. So here the diagram shows series and parallel connections of the transistors. So first is the CMOS NOR gate. It consists of two inputs CMOS NOR gate is shown here in the figure. The NMOS transistor are in parallel to pull the output low when any of the input is high, and the PMOS transistor are in series to pull the output high when both inputs are low, as shown in truth table here. So the crowbar or the floating condition does not exist in the NOR gate. When here A and B both are input, 4 conditions are there, that is 0 0 0 1 1 0 and 1 1, and the output is 1 triple 0. So there is one more, we can say, we can also draw the diagram for this 3 input NAND gate also. So when any of the input is high, the output is pulled low through parallel NMOS transistor. All inputs are low, the output is pulled high through the series of PMOS transistor. The compound gate comprises of combination of series and parallel switch structure. A function y is equal to a plus a dot b plus c into d total bar is the very good example of compound gate. The function is called AND or invert to because it performs the NOR of the pair of the two input ANDs. Next is power dissipation. So the power dissipation affect the performance, reliability, packaging, cost and portability. The power dissipation represents the power delivered to the gate from the power supply, and the power dissipation is non-zero quantity. The DC power dissipation of an inverter circuit is calculated as the product of its power supply voltage and the amount of current drawn from the power supply in steady state. The power dissipation in CMOS circuit are static power dissipation and dynamic power dissipation. So static means due to the leakage current or other current drawn continuously from the supply, and dynamic dissipation means due to the switching transient current and charging and discharging of load capacitor. So dynamic power, charging and discharging, short circuit currents, circuit path between supply rails during the switching, and leakage diodes and transistors. So dynamic power dissipation. The power reduced by reducing VDDFC and also a signal transition can be classified into two categories: functional transition and a glitch. So both the transistors are on for a short period of time during the transition from either 0 to 1 or 1 to 0. This result in short current pulse from VDD to VSS, that is ground. There is also a current to charge and discharge the load capacitance. The capacitor C gets charged through the PMOS transistor and its voltage rises from 0 to VDD, and a certain amount of energy is drawn from the power supply. As the capacitive load increases, the charge or discharge current starts to dominate the current drawn from the power supply. Static dissipation means in CMOS inverter, the one of the transistor is always off, since no current flows into the gate, the terminal, and there is no DC current path from VDD to VSS. The resultant steady state current and hence static power dissipation PS is 0. However, there is a small static power dissipation due to the reverse bias leakage between diffusion region and substrate. The leakage current per unit drain area typically ranges between 10 to 100 at room temperature. Due to the small leakage current, the power consumption is negligible. So, the value of the junction leakage current increases with increasing junction temperature. Next is the short circuit power dissipation. So, the short circuit current occurs during a signal transition when the both PMOS and NMOS are on and there is a direct path between VDD and ground, also called as a crowbar current, accounts for more than 20% of the total power dissipation. As the clock frequency increases, the transition also increases. Consequently, short circuit power dissipation increases. So it can be reduced by faster input and slower output. So both NPOS PMOS are not on at the same time. Here a diagram for the static power dissipation is shown. So static power dissipation, the power dissipation occurring when device is in the standby mode. As the technology scales, this becomes significant. Leakage power dissipation. The components are given here, that is reverse bias, PN junction, sub-threshold leakage, EIBL leakage, channel punch through, GIDL leakage, narrow width effect, oxide leakage, and hot carrier tunneling effect. The total power dissipation can be obtained from the sum of the three dissipations, that is PS plus PD plus PSC. To calculate the power dissipation, add all the capacitance operating at a particular frequency and calculate the power, and then the power from other group operating at different frequencies may be summed. So in this way we can calculate the power. The short circuit current is dependent on K and the input waveform rise and fall times. So slow rise time can result in significant short circuit dissipation. Thank you.